Like to cross live to Vienna, where Bijan Khajehpour is standing by. He's the managing partner of Eurasian Nexus Partners. Bijan, thank you so much for being with us here on France 24. If it is indeed confirmed that the Iranian vessels did try to block this passage of the British ship, would you say that this could be yet another act of tit for tat, if you like?
Well, yes, if the news is confirmed, we can definitely say that. But I think right now we have to accept that there are competing narratives, and it's difficult to know which side is telling the truth. All of them have lied in the past, and it's very, very difficult to determine. But what we can say at this stage is that Iran is engaging in a new strategy after a year of what they termed as strategic patience after the exit of the United States from the nuclear deal. There is a tendency to try to increase the cost towards the Western partners, especially the United States in the nuclear deal. And that could be, if in fact it's proven that Iran tried to divert this tanker, then it could be basically a process of increasing the cost towards the other side.
Bijan, you just mentioned there's potentially a change of strategy here. Would you say that's wise, given that the Europeans, at least when it comes to optics, are at this stage showing some kind of an interest in engaging in dialogue with the Iranians, certainly trying to salvage the nuclear deal, which is what the French are telling us?
Well, it's true that the Europeans are trying, and that they have tried to introduce mechanisms and policies to address Iran's grievances. But if you're sitting in Tehran and looking at this whole development, you have to say that the Europeans have been extremely slow. I mean, President Trump made the initial announcement about exiting the deal in January of 2018. Then the exit came in May 2018. The Iranians waited for a whole year and made clear statements that they expect the Europeans to compensate Iran for what was lost within the deal's commitments by the exit of the US. I think it's fair to say that the Europeans were extremely slow, and they were not creative enough, in my view, and not operational enough to address Iran's grievances, especially in economic terms and trade terms. So I think it's understandable. It's not necessarily the wisest strategy, but one has to understand the domestic politics in Iran, and there has been a lot of pressure inside Iran on the government, which obviously negotiated the nuclear deal and was in favor of continuing the nuclear deal. The domestic criticism of the government should not be overlooked, and we need to understand that there is competition within Iran, and that different strategies will have to be tested to see which one will help Iran achieve its goals.
Different strategies being tested, of course. Would you agree with the assessment that a great deal of hope is being pinned on what we refer to as an SPV, a special purpose vehicle that's aimed at facilitating trade with the Iranians, something that the Europeans have been working on but haven't really managed to bring to fruition, if you like?
Certainly. I mean, that was the hope from the Iranian side, that the SPV you mentioned, which is referred to as INSTEX, that INSTEX would help Iran address one of the key issues, which is basically financial transactions between Iran and its trading partners. But so far, it hasn't borne any fruit. In fact, not a single transaction has gone through INSTEX as yet. I know that the Europeans feel that it has been a great achievement, but from the Iranian perspective, it's not delivering. Iran is facing a lot of financial and banking bottlenecks, and also Iran's oil exports have fallen significantly since the US exit and since the reimposition of US sanctions. So Europe has tried, but it hasn't really had the value that Iran was hoping to get. So the hopes are there, and the Iranians aren't doing anything that they cannot reverse in the whole process. You know that they have cut down on their commitments within the nuclear deal. So it's all reversible if INSTEX and other initiatives by the Europeans start addressing Iran's grievances in the process. So the deal theoretically could be saved, but a lot more effort will be needed.
The deal could theoretically be saved. There we have it from Bijan Khajehpour. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us here on Live from Paris.